You're welcome back to Afia TV's News Tonight and our conversation segment. Of course, the Christmas stampedes caused by the rising poverty and inflation in Nigeria. And according to Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, the series of stampedes that have led to loss of lives of many Nigerians as a result of the rise in poverty rates and worsening hunger crisis in the country. And this statement followed the third stampede in a row, condemning the alarming state of hunger and desperation in Nigeria, emphasizing the devastating impact of poor governance and an inadequate response to rising poverty levels. Unfortunately, the government appears detached from the realities on the ground and has failed to take the necessary steps to address a situation that they helped to escalate. While these tragic incidents have been reported, many more may be occurring unnoticed as people are desperately hungry. In Abuja, a stampede during a food distribution exercise at Holy Trinity Church, Catholic Church in Maitama, claimed at least 13 lives, including 4 children, while leaving several others injured. A similar incident occurred in Okija, Anambra State, where a rice distribution exercise organized by a philanthropist, Ernest Obiejesi, resulted in the death of at least 12 people and left over 30 others injured. In Ibadan, Oyo State, a children's fun fair hosted by Women in Need of Governance and Support Wings, an initiative of Queen Naomi, turned fatal when an overcrowded entrance led to a stampede. These incidents are very avoidable, but they highlight the depth of hunger and deprivation in our society. Joining me now to discuss further is Claire Izakacha, and she's a broadcaster and, of course, the founder of Claire Cares Foundation. Good evening, Claire, and welcome to Afia TV News Tonight.
Good evening, Grace. How are you doing? Compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season, my sister. So, too many avoidable deaths and very sad one tonight that we're here talking about people who have died, people whose lives should ordinarily, cross over into 2025. But alas, as we always say in the local parlance, Nigeria has happened to them. And we had to reach out to you because you just had an outreach, a few days ago in Shogunle in Lagos. And not only did you target Feed 1000, but of course you're feeding so many and so much more. And tell us about what your experience hosting these kind of outreaches year in, year out.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Grace. Yes, we just concluded the Feed 1000 here in Lagos. So I've been running this for 5 years, and I have used a town hall in Shogunle here in Lagos. I am very particular about, safety of these children. You don't want to be caught doing good and end up ruining it. So from start, I know the best thing to do is to ensure that these children in your care are in safe hands. Now, we have been able to devise a method to ensure that we do it properly and everyone goes home safe. I'm always the last person to leave the venue. And that's because I have to ensure that our volunteers are making sure that they follow some of these kids and they're going back home. Their parents come and, take them home. Now, one of the things we put in place is before the event day, we have volunteers who go to this venue. Now, remember, this is a place we've been working in for about 5 years, but I don't take it for granted. I don't get too used to the fact that, this is a place I use every December. It's the same thing. No. So we always have to go there and, talk with the ballet, greet them, remind them of the date, tell them we have someone in charge in the local community, Galaxy, who goes home to home, to tell them, if you are coming, come with the kids or send someone to be with them. Please just come check them, go back, come check them, go back. And then 2 days before the event, we create a WhatsApp group. There's a team group, but we create a WhatsApp group for, external volunteers who come on the day to support us. Now, 2 days before or a day before the event, we would have a WhatsApp call. Now, they get to see, for the new ones, they get to see a picture of the hall. Now, we have to explain to them that there are 5 doors. We have the major entry. We have 4 side doors, right? We have to explain to them that during the events, all the doors are open. The kids need to move freely. We need ventilation and all of that. But once is that time, which is always the time the kids are waiting for, time to share the food, right? Distribution of food it should be studied. Is a technique. You need to be able to uncover it, and then we've learned it in such a way that we do this effortlessly, right? So you have volunteers who would man different doors. You have volunteers who will man the pews that we have, the chairs, the rows. People are on standby. They know what to do. We have a method of sharing the food. So when it's time to share, there's just one door open, every other door's closed, right? And people are manning there. And then we have just one door open, but you find our guards, standing there. When it's line is one by one, line after line, everything is set. There is a plan. There is a map. It feels like when you see us or you hear us have a meeting about the distribution, it feels like we're solving a mathematical equation, but it is just for the safety of these children. And so that at the end of the day, your goodwill would not turn out to be bereavement or grief or, I wish my kids shouldn't have been there. Or they want to, you hear a lot of stories.
Right.
And then it just factors out all the good you've done. So that's basically.
Okay, let's get the record number for the number of children you were able to feed this year.
Okay, it starts feed 1,000, but this year we fed 2,005-ish.
Whoa! So you're very well on your way to feeding 5,000, maybe like Jesus.
I wouldn't want to compete with Jesus, so I mean, let's leave it at feed 1,000.
All right, so let's move over now to more serious arguments here. Lots of people have blamed the people who went out to do good, just as you said. And of course, because you're dealing with a particular set of people, which is children, it's very delicate. Anything can happen. And of course, for the very best of the hours that they're with you, you have to ensure their safety and all of that. Now, this whole thing started with Oyo, where the crowd, it was too much. And even here in Enugu, I think I witnessed one that was done by a foundation, and you could see how the children were pulling and tugging, and, everyone wanted a piece of something, but from your experience dealing with children, do you think that, and this is not the first time, besides we have to lay that out clear, and, things just happen sometimes, and so sad. Do you think that something else could have been done? Maybe some sort of ticketing or, a way to, because according to reports, the children were there very early. And then we don't know much about the security, what happened there and how they were able to organize these children, and how it eventually turned out to become very, messy for the entire day. So what ways do you think that, this could have been averted?
Okay, so I'm believing, that the organizers were there before the day. They had their volunteers or team members go out to, look around to see the number of people they might be having. Because I know sometimes that when you want to do things in an open space, especially when it has to do with, distribution of foods or things that are free, medical outreach to, you should plan your event based on the number. So say you want to reach out to 100 people and it's an open space like a field, you should understand that people will trip in. There are no gates, there are no doors, so people will trip. Now, they're children you're dealing with. These people are very, smart. They would run, they would be here, they will be here, they'll be here. Now, I don't know how many people, they had manning these places. It is, if it's a field, it's an open ground. Anybody can come in, and children can be really a handful, So the truth is, it still boils down to planning properly. It boils down to maybe ticketing or using they use markers or ink, So it means that if there are about 9 places where these children can come in from, you need to have heavy bodied men, that would man these places and ensure they don't come in. Now, when you have the number, the organizers know what they can do, how many people they can feed. So when when you see that, oh, okay, this number is okay, we can't allow people in, that is when it has to be like a very tight security. So you have people you have people hold themselves and ensure that nobody comes in. Now, when people are going, when you give them their palliative, you ensure that they go out through a certain place. You can't have 2-3 places open for them to move out. No, there would be a rush. The economy isn't smiling. People are hungry. People need food. And then as I said, children just want to have things, It's a Christmas season. They just want to have gifts. Take it home. Mommy, oh, I brought this. Oh, there's rice. Oh, we can eat. Do you understand? Children are impatient when it comes to sharing. You need to be stern with them. You need to be strict with them. So if they had, planned to reach out to 300, they got there and realized there were 500 people. What they had to do was to rework or replan immediately. There are times on 2 Saturdays, when we had the Feed 1000, I saw the crowd, and then I told my volunteers, we need to, the 4 people who were supposed to man the main door, we need to increase it. We need to make them about 6. I had to remove 2 people who I knew that if anything would happen, they may not be strong enough to pull or to push. I had to replace. The strength of the people you're working with, So I'm personally scared of having any issue when it comes to running projects. And that's why I prefer to use, an enclosed space. Feed 1000 has always been the very first time I tried to do the Feed 1000, I used an open space somewhere in Idiaraba also. And I had to, that moment I had to pay a security agency to come man the place because it was way beyond us, and we had to ensure that the security was stronger than my volunteers. They were strong to say, stay here. Oh no, don't do this. They were stern. They were very disciplined. So by the time people saw the uniforms, they had to adjust, but after that year, I said, no, we had to do a location recce. And then we got to the Shogunle Town Hall. Now, the ballet would call the young men to tell them, this is happening. The Cleckers Foundation will be coming so time. So please be on the guard. Now, the place we use for the event is a big compound, a big hall where they have their community activities and all of that. So it is very secure. Now, the young men in the community always, they're always at alert, and they know the Cleckers Foundation will be coming in December, and then they are there for us. I envy those who go out to do big events in an open space. That's really big. But then if you have to do that, be it children, be it adults, we're in a period where people want to get a lot of everything to save for tomorrow, for January, for February. So people are trying to do everything to get everything. As when it's free, people want it. So there was camper for it. But you need to ensure that you put things and measures in place to ensure that everyone will get and go home safely. Yeah, so that's basically my point from here.
Can you hear me? You're welcome back. Can you hear me?
Very well, Grace.
Okay, so I said we just have 30 seconds to go.
Oh, I can barely hear you, Grace.
You're welcome back, and apologies for that technical error there. So just before we go 30 seconds, we were asking if you could profile a solution from the side of the government now, as regards this many sad incidences that we've had around sharing of palliatives. Can you hear me?
Very well, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Sure, very well. Go ahead, please.
All right. I mean, what else is it to say than make it easy for us? Make it really easy for us. It's a Yuletide season, and a lot of people can't even eat. This is the very first year where the people in Shogunle started calling me from August. It was very unlike them. It just showed you how important a plate of rice would go. It shows how important a bottle of drink, the gifts we gave them would go. So we're only begging that things get better for us. We're only begging that the common man should be able to afford rice, afford gari, afford the very basic things that would keep us alive. It's not so hard. I mean, we will get there, yes, but please, we really need to make it alive, so we can say, yes, we're still Nigerians. People need help. People really need help. I just pray the government to do something, and really fast, so that we will be alive, basically.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Claire Izakacha, broadcaster, and of course, founder, Claire Cares Foundation. It's always an honor to have you.
Thank you so much, Grace.
Merry
Thank
Christmas.
You.